The murder and mutilation of Katarzya Zowada is one of the most tragic mysteries yet. The year was 1998. Zowada was a 23-year-old Polish student attending Jagiellonian University in Kraków, where she studied religion. Her friends cited her as known to be kind and friendly, although an equally sad and withdrawn person. For Katarzya had suffered severe depression after the death of her father in 1996, leaving her disillusioned with her place in the world. On November 12th, Katarzya's mother would make plans to meet her daughter at the Psychiatric Clinic in Nowa Huta, where she was continuously being treated for her depression. Katarzya Zowada never made it to the clinic. Naturally, out of worry for her daughter, Zowada's mother attempted to file a missing persons report at a local police station, but was told to wait and eventually led to no further investigations. Until nearly 2 full months later, on January 6, 1999, when the crew of the Elk towboat sailing through the Vistula would accidentally uncover a disturbing piece of evidence. After forensic examination, it was determined to be human skin, which DNA tests later confirmed it to have belonged to Katarzya Zowada. 8 days later, Katarzya's right leg was uncovered from the same river. The initial assessment and assumption of the police was that Zowada's body had been destroyed by a boat propeller. This was disproven, however, when a post-mortem examination of the recovered body fragments indicated the skin had been removed purposefully, and that her limbs and head had been intentionally severed. The skin had been prepared in such a way that it resembled a sort of bodysuit. The police now believe the killer had worn that after assembling. In May of '99, the Forensic Medicine Unit in Kraków received a corpse of a man with a severed and scalped head. The wounds and cause of death seemed eerily similar to that of Katarzya, which instinctively led investigators to connect the two murders. However, the killer was shortly found to be one Vladimir W., who turned out to be the son of the second victim, originally from Caucasus. Prior to his arrest, he was spotted wearing a mask made of the skin of his father's decapitated head. All signs led to a connection, yet no significant evidence was ever gathered to connect the two murders. Vladimir was later charged and sentenced to his father's murder for 25 years in prison, and was eventually transferred to a prison in Russia of his own volition. A year later, the investigation was officially retired due to lack of progression by the authorities, but this did not stop the original police officers involved in the case from continuing to investigate credible leads. Over a decade later, in 2012, thanks to the advances in technology and science, particularly in the forensic research field, and cooperation with experts, the original investigation was returned to an active case. A team of investigators from the Cold Case Unit, who decidedly named themselves the X-Files, were brought in to take over the case. The exhumation and additional autopsy of Katarzya's remains were immediately ordered by the reinvigorated investigation. A model of the injuries inflicted on Katarzya was created by specialists from the Wrocław Medical University. This concluded that the attacker had used a sharp instrument to inflict deep incisions to Zowada on the neck, armpit, and groin. This led to immense pain and of course caused Katarzya to bleed to death. In 2014, the FBI got involved when a European liaison created a psychological profile of the suspect focusing on his clear sadistic tendencies. And in 2016, investigators consulted with the University of Coimbra Professor Duarte Nuno Vieira, a Portuguese forensic specialist and UN expert consultant in the field of signs of torture on the human body. Duarte confirmed the suspicions that Katarzya Zowada was tortured before her death, and that the perpetrator was very likely trained in martial arts, specifically one form in particular, which to this day has remained undisclosed. On October 4, 2017, nearly 2 decades after the murder, police arrived at the door of 52-year-old Robert Janczewski in Krakow's Kazimierz district. Investigators searched his apartment and found blood in the bathroom. Janczewski was arrested, and objects of interest in his apartment, such as the bathtub and frame, were confiscated and secured for further tests to be conducted. He was an original person of interest back in 1999, however, he was never arrested or pursued heavily. Janczewski fit the psychological profile laid by the FBI. He was also trained in martial arts, knew the victim, visited Katarzyna's grave, and had a known history of harassing women. He had previously worked in a dissecting lab where he frequently dealt with human corpses. He also worked at the Kraków Institute of Zoology, where he could actively observe the process of preparing animal skins. His employment was terminated the day after he inexplicably killed all of the institute's rabbits during his shift. Robert Janczewski has still yet to provide an explanation or proper defense to the allegations, other than claiming to have never known Katarzyna. The police only detained him after an undisclosed letter was intercepted from the suspect's friend. Janczewski was charged with aggravated murder with particular cruelty, and shortly after, the Court of Appeal came to an agreement with investigators to extend Robert's detention until the 6th of September 2018, while investigators continued to gather evidence. In December, Janczewski complained of harassment from the prison guards. However, the claim was investigated and thrown out due to the claim being groundless. As of September 2019, Janczewski has yet to be released from jail, and investigators have requested a closed trial. What do you think happened to Katarzya Zowada? Do you think Janczewski fit the profile? Don't forget to let me know if you have a theory. Thanks for watching, and if you made it this far, please leave a like and comment if you enjoyed. Until the next time.